Back in the early days of GTA 5, the Lynx was criticized for being a wildly overpriced sports car. But today, it's in the cheaper half of vehicles. Luckily, there are a lot of different ways to get free cars in the game. However, many of these vehicles have hidden fees or extra expenses that you tend to forget about. So let's just get the obvious out of the way. The first car many players had was a simple vehicle off the street, such as the Buccaneer, a Buffalo, the Baller, or even a Sentinel XS. These cars were the first free vehicles that were available to us as players, and there are numerous vehicles that rotate through the cycle spawn rates. The kicker is that a lot of these cars are either too hot to be modified or can't be owned in the first place. And even if they can be, you still need to buy a tracker and insurance for it, which technically means it's not free, but it is very close. And every week, Rockstar adds a different vehicle to the LS Car Meets Prize Ride spot, which gives the players a small challenge to earn that vehicle for free. These vehicles are only here for a limited time, and could realistically be any car, and that's just up to Rockstar's discretion. The Casino Podium is the exact same situation, but with less effort, and you're subject to a 1 in 20 chance every single day. There have been 245 different vehicles on the Podium since its release. Some of these vehicles returned multiple times, like the Infernus Classic, which has been on the Podium 4 times. Meaning if we remove every single duplicate, there's only been 160 different cars on the Podium. The Casino Wheel also has a mystery option, which does have 130 different vehicles in its list of numerous clothing items and other things that you can win. The Lost Slam Van is one of the vehicles that can be won this way.
You should have heard me coming.
And it's the only way that you can obtain this vehicle without modding or glitching the game, making it one of the rarest cars in the entire game. Moving in a different direction, the Arena Wars DLC offered us 9 vehicles that we could win for free that we couldn't even previously own. However, these were locked to the Arena Wars tier system. The vehicles include the Go-Go Monkey Ballista at tier 20, the Taxi Custom at tier 25, Dozer at tier 50, Clown Van at tier 75, the Trash Master at tier 100, the Barrack Semi at tier 200, the Mixer at tier 300, Space Stalker at tier 500, and the Rusty Tractor at tier 1000. This makes the vehicles extremely difficult to get, and even after all that, they're still only Pegasus vehicles, so they don't even sit in your garage. And on top of that, to even begin earning tiers in the Arena War, you have to buy an Arena War workshop, which starts at just under $1 million. The Drug Wars DLC brought the First Dose missions, as well as the Brigade 6x6 and the Manchez Scout C. These are both fun vehicles to own. If you complete the 6 First Dose missions as leader, which can be done without buying a single property, you're gifted the Brigade 6x6 for absolutely free. This truck also doubles as the Acid Lab, and once you have the Acid Lab, you get the Manchez Scout C on top of that. But the kicker here is that to buy the equipment to turn the regular Brigade 6x6 into the Acid Lab costs you $750,000. So the Brigade might be free, but the Manchez isn't. The Cuban is a free plane that's gifted to the player when you buy a hangar, so that's also not free. The Speedo Custom is similar, as it's gifted to the player as an owner of the nightclub. And yeah, those start at $1 million. Using the interaction menu, you can call many vehicles for free or just without owning them. They include the Dune Loader, Sanchez, Washington, Bodie, BJXL, Stretch, Patriot, the XLS, Rumpo Custom, and the Brigade. However, in order to access this part of the interaction menu, you need to be a CEO, which requires you to buy an office, also starting at $1 million. On top of that, the Brigade, Rumpo Custom, and XLS also require the player to purchase a large, medium, and small warehouse, which costs $1.25, $1.8, and $2.9 million respectively. Fun fact, back in 2014 when the first DLC came to GTA 5 in the form of the Beach Bum DLC, every single vehicle was free for a short period of time. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore, but if you still want to get some free things, come find me at VidCon next week in Anaheim. I'll be there, and if you find me, I'm going to have some little gifts for whoever does. Now, I would like to address the elephant in the room, which is the room that I'm in. You'll probably notice that it's not the same room I'm normally in. I had to relocate this week because of some renovations happening at my house, so this is what we got. I tried my best to spice it up. Some players might go into the game and see discounts on cars with a little yellow sticker like this. These vehicles came with the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. Sure, these vehicles aren't anything special, but they do include the Banshee, Huntley S, the Coquette Classic, the Dune FAV, the Frogger Helicopter, the Omnis, Turismo R, Vortex, Windsor, and the Zombie Chopper. For a short period of time, this was offered for free when purchasing the game digitally. This may or may not be the case right now, depending on where you look, but if it's not, then this would cost you $10 US. Alongside the yellow price stickers, some other players might notice a red price tag, which indicates that these are free for returning players, which means that they carried over from an older generation of console to a newer generation of console. These vehicles are the Ballista Compact, Dukes, Duke of Death, Stallion, Burger Shot Stallion, the Redwood Gauntlet, the Pisswasser Dominator, the Marshall, Sprunk Buffalo, and the Hot Knife and Chameleon, which were originally only for collector's edition holders, and were free then too. These vehicles are also free unless again you count buying a new console as a cost of the vehicle. Speaking of buying a new console, the S95 is available for returning players who went from last gen to current gen of consoles. And this is also the most expensive vehicle on this list and would save you $1.9 million. Also on the new consoles is the option to complete career progress for different sections of the game. Now, many people don't know that alongside the S95, Weaponized Ignis, and the HSW upgrade, career progress isn't available on PC. And for my PC players, this might give you a bit of FOMO because I personally wish we had this. Starting off, the Armored Kuruma is awarded after doing the original heist progress, though it requires you to complete the Criminal Mastermind Challenge and own a high-end apartment, which costs $200,000. Their Journey 2 is awarded after the 4th tier of the Acid Lab progress, but similar to the Brigade, Manches requires you to own an Acid Lab and do over $10 million in sales. So not free and takes a lot of effort. The Stafford relates to the nightclub work, however this requires a nightclub and again a fair amount of time. The Furia is a wonderful car to get for free, but to complete the arcade career progress, you'll need to fork out $1.2 million for the property itself. The same goes for the Barrage and the Facility, which not only requires a property, but also that you complete the entire heist using only a pistol. The Havoc is awarded after earning $50 million in the hangar, but also requires you to convert a Pegasus vehicle into a personal vehicle. So adding that on top of the hangar cost, I must say that $1.4 million ain't exactly free. To rapid fire a few more, the Paragon R needs the penthouse for missions, the Buzzard requires a salvage yard at $1.6 million, the Turismo Classic requires an auto shop, the Yugo Classic can only be obtained this way and requires an agency and a lot of agency work, and the Winky requires a Kasatka to complete the Cayo Perico heist. Now if you've never heard this before, you may think that that's a lot, but we're not even done yet. The Nero Custom needs an office and vehicle warehouse, the Windsor Drop needs an office and a large warehouse, the Dune FAV is free after you buy a bunker, shooting range, and the MOC for over $3 million. But the Damon is where the numbers really start to climb, as you need a clubhouse and a bike workshop, as well as every single biker business, which is nearly $5 million for a free bike that normally only costs $145,000. The Speedo Custom is not only available through the nightclub, but a personal version is available through various tasks relating to weapons, including but not limited to owning 50 weapons, owning all Mark II weapons, and owning all ammo types, which requires bunker research. Sure, I could do the maths for this and add up the bunker and the research cost and the weapons, and I didn't want to do that. Let's just say it costs a fuck ton, okay? And lastly, if you buy a Garage, a Pegasus vehicle, upgrade a car at LSC, Benny's, and at Howe's Special Works, as well as purchase an arena workshop and an agency and upgrade a vehicle at each of those locations, then buy 100 more vehicles on top of that and customize 50 of them, including a special vehicle which requires an office and a vehicle warehouse, then you're awarded with a free slam truck. Meaning that instead of spending the normal $1.3 million, you'll save a whopping negative $9.9 million and countless hours of your time just to get this vehicle for completely free. This is by far the most expensive free vehicle in the entire game. Over $11 million total? Really? Really? But don't worry, there are 3 other cars that are free. The Paragon R Armored is similar to the Paragon R for career progress, but is available for all players. It's given for free after completing the 6 casino missions as a host for Agatha Baker. The Weevil is free after completing the Kind of Music missions, which become available after completing the Cayo Perico heist as a leader. And the Elegy is available for free for anyone who linked their GTA 5 account with a Social Club account, which is extremely easy. But unfortunately, I do need to be the bearer of bad news here. The casino missions require a casino penthouse, which starts at $1.5 million. The Weevil and its KO Perico requirements needs a Casata, which costs $2.2 million. But luckily, the Elegy is still doing just fine with its social... Wait. Oh, well, maybe not. See, this is why we can't have nice things, Rockstar. So there's only a few cars that are actually free for all players, and they typically require some luck or a little bit of skill. Though it is nice to know that there are ways that we can get vehicles for extremely cheap or even free, especially considering some of the most expensive vehicles following the rules that we used in this video cost up to $20 million. Who knew the APC costed so much?